Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to Wait, Are These Guys Friends? I am Mike, and I'm here with Randy. But Randy, this is not the episode yet. Just slow your fucking roll. No.
Do you know? But I'm ready. Come on, Mike.
No. Do you know what this is? This is a warning, a dire warning.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's really just more of a heads up. I may have been, all right. I may have been a little hyperbolic there. Am I saying that right? Hyperbolic?
Isn't that the word that you say wrong?
Yeah, well, I say I say hyperbole wrong. I said hyperbole a lot in my life. But
I think it's hyperbolic. I think
hyperbolic by hyperbole.
Correct.
I feel like I've been misled. That's the trick. Somebody did that to trick me. Anyway.
I could have it wrong too, so.
Anyway, this episode. I hope you're enjoying this bonus banter. We still have a whole second intro to get through for the actual episode that we taped. As you probably saw in the title, we are doing a Christmas Story watch-along. And we ran into a few issues with this one. The first one, when I first put it together, the problem is sometimes it was just fucking boring. And you may be like, well, how come? It's a fine movie for some people, and I'm sure you're cracking your normal witty repartee. And you're right, we're amazing. My goodness us. But the problem is sometimes we were just watching the movie, and it got a little dull. It got a little boring.
Yeah, and I think this is the thing where Mike hadn't seen this movie in almost 20 years or around that time frame. And so where I watch it every year and have it on repeat, oftentimes throughout the holiday season, I can go kind of line by line and quote by quote on it. And so I think if it had been me watching it with me, it would have been a different scenario. But Mike, as he's watching it, had to kind of remind himself about what things were. So that's why he's watching the movie. No shade thrown one way or the other, just saying that that's the reason for the points in the movie where we're just sitting there watching it. So you're kind of refreshing yourself with certain things. And then I jump in at points because I had done the research and know the movie a little bit better than you do, just because of the sheer volume of times I've seen it. And so I think that's the flow that we took, but the lulls, for lack of a better term,
are
in
gone
between.
Now, so it doesn't.
Yes.
I cut them out. But
the magic of editing.
But yes, no, it flows a lot better. And also, before I continue, when you say that if you were watching, Me for Me, all I could think of is, she likes me for me, and I watch Christmas Story every year. Anyway, that's going to get us.
Blessed Union of Souls, is that
who it is? I couldn't remember.
Hey, Leonardo, I think so.
Yes, that's yeah. Anyway, as I said, we cut out the gaps. The fat's been trimmed. What that means is, if you're watching on YouTube, the second issue I had is when I put this together, oh boy, the copyright violations. I thought I had protected us with special edits and strips and alters and this and that. No. So you're going to see a lot of still frames. You're not going to see the movie. You're going to see so many still frames. But you'll know what we're talking about. You'll hear a little bit of audio in the background. We'll talk about everything, and really isn't just for the jokes and the ha-has. And if you're listening to this just as a traditional podcast, it's a non-issue. You'll hear all the same stuff. So either way, I believe we are covered. This movie is certainly something. And we get into a lot of stuff. And boy, when I say that we go on some tangents, there are points where this movie got paused for, I want to say, 10 to 15 minutes at different points where we just talk about literally anything else. So stick with it. Enjoy it. I just wanted to give some kind of preface to this. I can't talk. I'm not
Preface.
I wanted to give a preface to this. And with that, let's start the actual episode.
Enjoy.
You did like the goodbye, but you did the start, and you did I got tingles. Here's the episode. Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to Wait, Are These Guys Friends? I am Mike, and I'm here with Randy, and we have got one more dose of holly jolly goodness heading into the season, and this is my torture. This is something that we discussed about in October, but we'll get into all that. Randy, how was your week?
Pretty good. As you can see, we're both in our festive attire, very ready for the holiday season. So I'm a big sucker for this time of the year. I'm just a big fan of all things related to the holiday season. I'm the one, I think I mentioned it in a past podcast, that I put 10, 15 inflatables out on our front yard and put spotlights on them and put lights on the house. It's super fun. So I'm all in on it. And this is also hopefully my redemption episode for
redemption episode.
Past comments.
Good God. I mean, I don't know what you're redeeming. It's more that, are you justifying maybe for anyone that is uninitiated, at some point, I believe it was around Halloween in October, I had said, you know what could be fun? Because we were talking for some reason about how I've never liked A Christmas Story. It was on,
Chevy Chase and
that
Bill Murray.
24 hour. Is that what it was? Oh, because we were talking about Christmas.
Him and Chris's Vacation. Yep.
Yeah. That's right. I'm glad you remember this show better than I do. It's I block each episode out after it's done.
Well done.
Every episode is fresh. So I've been like, I never liked it. It was 24 hours on TBS growing up, and I was just like, I'm sick of this fucking movie. I want to watch anything else. So I haven't watched this movie in at least 20 years, maybe, because I haven't wanted to. I agreed stupidly in October to do this. Now my chickens have come home to roost.
Yes.
And so we'll do a watch along. We'll talk about it when we get to that main topic. We won't just be doing a commentary track. We're going to be pausing and talking about things. So this could be a little longer than normal because we're going to get into shit Randy wants to talk about. Well, I'm like, can we just watch the fucking I just want to watch the fucking movie, Randy. All right. But, before we get moving with the rest of the episode, I didn't tell you. I got you a present. I got you something.
Oh, did you?
And I did, and I'm very excited. And we're gonna go right now. Little Christmas down the hall transition.
Ooh.
This is a present for you. I'm very excited. And the thing is,
that wrapping job there.
I'm gonna unwrap it and show you. And I'm just gonna tell you right now, it's the AI theme of the week. I hope you're ready for the AI theme of the week. And here is what I'm gonna give you a little preface on. You are going to listen to this. You are going to watch this, and you are going to think, that was interesting. It's over now. Anytime you think, oh, this must be over, just keep listening. It's a fucking trip.
I'm
a little more intro. Sorry, I'm really building the hype and the anticipation.
Mm-hmm.
Last week, I remember I had tried to do a Christmas theme, and it turned into a disaster. I used a new service. The song didn't go right. I went back to the original service. So this is the same service that had generated all our other things. And I used the base lyrics, but I added like For Christmas, then the regular lyrics. It gave me two themes. It gave me one that was your very standard Jingle Bells, and I thought, well, that would work. But then it gave me, like that Michael Bublé Christmas album is like one of the best-selling Christmas albums of all time. People dial into the Bublé. It's like the Bublé season,
Sure.
This to me is the Michael Bublé Christmas version of our theme. So,
all right,
here we go.
For Christmas, I want to summer two friends who host a podcast together and argue regularly about their pop culture interests and if they are actually friends or not. One friend is named Mike, one is named Randy. All I want for Christmas is wait. Are these guys friends?
And you.
I feel it. Oh, okay. Who's joining us?
Baby.
Yeah.
And you, baby.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Baby.
That was like.
Remember what I said a moment ago? Anytime you think it's over, it's not over.
Okay. Patiently waiting. Nope.
You stepped on the baby.
I did.
Baby.
It comes back.
Yeah, but for the breakdown. Baby, 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 baby.
Baby. Baby.
It's actually over now.
Wow.
I did not. That was what it gave me. I didn't add any verses. I didn't add any pauses. I didn't edit that song at all. It was just, when I was listening to it, I was like, okay, it's still going. Oh, it's still going.
So that is interesting to think of. the AI must have incorporated wait, are these guys friends as
Yeah.
well into its creation. Like, it's not just saying, oh, that's the title of this podcast.
Mhm.
Like, wait, are these guys friends? If you thought about it as that phrasing,
Yeah.
could have that implication of
Letting them know.
more than friends.
Right.
So, like,
and letting them
so-
know that you want this podcast for Christmas, but also,
Right.
Randy,
And
I want
baby.
you, baby, and you,
Ooh.
and you. So you may notice, if you're watching on YouTube, or by the way, I've been saying YouTube the last 2 weeks. I just found out and by just found out, I mean this week when we launched our first episode, would peek behind the curtain to see the delay in taping versus release. Spotify releases the video version as well. So
Cool.
you can watch the video
Great.
version on both Spotify and YouTube. So if you're a Spotify subscriber and you didn't realize you could just open up the app and watch us, hey baby, we want you, and you. But it's okay. If you're staying audio only, we still love you. All right.
Yes.
Let's transition to a quick little what we watched, because
Okay.
we have a long movie ahead of us.
Yes.
But I don't want to go back. If you are watching, I don't want to go back to our little blue void of a 2-box. I want us to do something more classy, more distinguished. So come down the hall with me, Randy, and venture into my sitting room. Picture it, audio listeners. There's a crackling fire. There's easy armchairs. I feel like you and I should each have a glass of cognac. And we're going to sit here and we're going to discuss a little bit of what we watched this week. A nice, relaxing day by the fire, just you and I talking about TV and film. Randy, what'd you watch this week?
So you and I had discussed about a week ago or so about rewatching certain shows, things to get back in on. And I had mentioned that there were certain shows that I wanted to rewatch. I think Deadwood is one of the ones I had brought up, and with Timothy Olyphant being in that. And I had always heard good things about Justified and started to go back in on that because it's on Hulu. It was an FX show. He is a U.S. Marshal that is basically being reassigned to his hometown in Kentucky. And so he goes back there, but he is he looks the part of the cowboy, right? Like he wears a cowboy hat, has the boots, all that other stuff. And the pilot is really just fantastic. And I could see Walton Goggins, who is great in everything, is
sold without any other pitch. You have to tell me nothing else.
Yeah, and he comes in just dynamite, like comes out of the blocks like, all right, this is going to be one of the main antagonists of the whole series, you can tell. So I went through 3 or 4 episodes of it. Now, it does get to start more of an episodic type thing, so it's a, bad guy of the week as it starts to get in, but I have read varying things throughout, not trying to get too much in depth. I know Walton Goggins becomes kind of the big bad throughout the whole thing, his adversarial component. And the interesting thing is that they used to be friends before Timothy Olyphant's character left Kentucky. Like they grew up together and used to work together in like the coal mines and stuff in this place in Kentucky. So interesting development, and I liked starting that. I was having a good time getting into it. I just didn't watch as much, but I'm excited to kind of dive into that and see what it's all about. And then really the only other thing was I dove more into What We Do in the Shadows just because it continues to be amazing. I didn't want to spoil it for you because you're not up there yet, but
I did finally start watching. I think the last time we talked about it, I hadn't started the season yet, and I was like, "Fuck, I got to start." I am up through Laszlo's dad, and it is as delightful as ever. And listen, you can talk about whatever you want. I don't mind.
It's just
I'm really not a spoiler reverse person.
Okay, but I think it was more fun to see, so I don't want it. It's not that I don't want to be too, secretive about being spoiler. Like I'm fine one way or the other, but I want you to have the delight of the reveal on it.
Understood.
And in true what We Do in the Shadows fashion, the context of how they're putting in is kind of out of the realm of this character that would be introduced. So it's really, really fun. It's the most recent one as of time of taping. I think they have one more. Oh no, it just aired last night as we taped the I think the season finale.
Okay.
So it is the penultimate episode of this season. I think it might be. I don't know if it's a series finale. Are they done?
I couldn't remember. Do they have one more season? I think this might be it. Let me look. Are you looking it up? Because
I'm not. But I saw you.
So, only other thing I would say about Justified while I'm looking this up, for Good Place fans, you may remember when Timothy Oliphant makes his cameo near the end of the series. It is because the Judge Maya Rudolph is obsessed with that show, and she had started it and loves Timothy Oliphant, and who doesn't? And the idea of him and Walton Goggins on a show, I've been saying also I want to watch it. No, this is the last season, so there's 2 episodes left, or 1 episode left. You said it was the penultimate. My goodness.
Correct. Yes.
That's just...
Unless they have... I thought they just did 10 episodes, but...
they're doing an episode 11, and it's called The Finale, and it airs Monday, December 16th.
So forgive me. The penultimate then was the one that I'm referring to.
And it says, yes, that does mean that unlike previous seasons, this one has 1 extra episode to give the show proper time to wrap up their story. So beautiful. Little bonus content on that one. But yeah, and then the only other thing I noted about Walton Goggins is... they just announced they had started filming Fallout Season 2, and I could not be more excited. So just
acclaim for that too, right?
Oh my goodness!
What are they called? What's his character called? There's a name for that.
The Ghoul. And I got into the Fallout games because of the show. I'm one of those bandwagoners, and I, without getting into the lore of it too much, it's really fascinating. I only played and really got into the most recent one, which it's one of those classic things where some fans are like, they changed it too much. Modern bandwagon. I don't care. I loved it. It was a fun game. But ghouls are a regular thing throughout the Wasteland. The Ghoul is because he is such a legendary, prominent ghoul that he has gotten like a singular identifier. There are other ghouls, but he is just like, and his story throughout the show, and I believe we talked about this other episodes ages ago, is he is a survivor from before the bombs. He was mutated, et cetera, and you actually see his story beforehand, and it all begins to coalesce and tie together, and he deserves every bit of praise he's getting, and simply him being on Justified is just another reason that I should watch that show, to go back, because Righteous Gemstones, he's an amazing actor. Everything he touches is great. That one episode of Community, he's so good.
His batting percentage very high in pretty much everything he does.
Anything else you want to hit? I got a quick one. Do you want to get into anything?
No, go for it.
The main thing I watched over this last week is I hardcore binged the first season of Superman and Lois, and I finally started it because it just ended. Its 4th season wrapped up, its final season. There has been some discourse as to if they made the show end because the movie's coming out and they didn't want competing Superman projects. Like if they would have kept going otherwise. But by all accounts, people had been like, there are people who are like, this is the Superman we deserved. This is the one that we had been waiting for, because it came out post Zack Snyder, and that Superman, Henry Cavill was very good, but he was a miserable sack of shit. He was unhappy. Everything was bad. This Superman, played by Tyler Hoechlin, who started in the Arrowverse shows. He debuted in like Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover and Supergirl. He's amazing. He is Superman. He's pleasant and charming and loves humanity and sees the good in everybody. And the twist on the show is they adapt it kind of from the comics, where in the modern continuity, Superman has a son. And that's a whole other thing where they almost fucked that up, whatever. But here they give him 2 boys. And a lot of it is his relationship where one of them is developing superpowers and the other one isn't. And it's a lot about how do you balance being Superman? How do you balance being a dad? How do you balance being a husband? And they move back to Smallville to try to give the family space to get closer again with all these changes. And it's just breathtakingly good. And I texted you last night the season twist for the big bad villain in the first season without getting too much into it, because it would still feel surprising. And they finally reference it in the finale. They actually say the words. I'm like, thank God someone said it. It's the plot to Get Out. There's a replacement scheme going on with people. And I won't get into who and what to try to preserve some of it. But one person in the finale goes, "Oh, they tried to get out us," and I was, "Thank you, yes, thank you." Somebody said it. Thank God. Okay, it was a
Self-aware.
culturally relevant movie. Somebody needed to acknowledge this. So, but it is super. James Gunn has his work cut out for him for the movie
Mhm.
because I have seen a perfect modern Superman in
Oh,
temperament
interesting.
and look and approach. And the best part about this show is it started originally in its first season as one of those big CW Arrowverse shows. But because of COVID, they never got a chance to film any of the crossover episodes that they had planned, which worked
Okay.
out for the show's benefit. Because
Yeah.
for the second season, they decided it was in a different world and they didn't want to tie into it at all.
Oh,
So
okay.
they get to tell their own contained narrative. This is not something you needed to go watch Arrow and The Flash and all this shit for. This is Superman and Lois, 4 seasons of the story of the Kent family and Superman. And after 1 season, I'm all in. I'm really digging it. So
That's cool. I'll be honest, when you first texted me about this, I half looked at it and didn't process 100% that you were talking about the newer one, and I thought you were telling me you were like
Dean
rebinging
Cain's Lois and Clark.
Lois and Clark, and I was like, that's an odd choice, but yeah, sure, whatever.
That it's funny because it's so funny to think too that show of its time was so modern. It was modern Superman.
Yeah, it was fine for when it was.
Yeah, it's so crazy. Historically, so far, you have Christopher Reeve, but I have my nerdy quibbles with those movies. He's perfect, but the movie makers didn't take the comics enough into consideration. Not that I needed some deep storyline.
Yeah.
Think about how, as those movies went on, he just always had whatever power needed to suit the situation. Like in the 4th one, where he has telekinesis and rebuilds the Great Wall of China. What the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
So this one is just so faithful, and it really is just really neat to see that kind of dynamic brought to life, because I think I've talked before on superhero movies. I'm so sick of getting the same Spider-Man stories, the same Superman stories, the same Batman stories. I loved Robert Pattinson in The Batman, but it's another young Batman story. So this is Superman. He's been Superman for a decade. The world knows him. The world trusts him. The world loves him. And he has other things going on. And it's neat. And I'll wrap it up with that, but highly worth a watch.
Cool.
So what do you say we retire from the sitting room? Randy, would you like to watch a movie with me?
I would.
Ah, damn. Let's go down the hall into our theater.
This is quite the palatial estate you have here, Mike.
Welcome to the screening room. We're going to watch A Christmas Story. And what would you like to say before we roll film? Anything about this? Travesty.
I got a couple notes, a couple bits of just overarching trivia that we can just do a quick lead in here. So this movie came out in 1983. It came out actually right around Thanksgiving. The surprise about it was a modest hit. It made $19 million on a $3 million budget, so it did fine for what it was. Very well reviewed at the time by Siskel and Ebert. Siskel gave it 3.5 stars. Roger Ebert gave it 3, and then he re-reviewed it in 2000 and upped that to 4.
Wow.
Big fan. I think that comes into play because this hits the two of them for their age range really, really well for nostalgia, I'm sure. So Ebert always was good about story and, bits of nostalgia and things that reminded him. He even said in his review that he's from, rural suburban Illinois, and this took place, in essentially a suburb of Chicago, but in Northwest Indiana. So, the movie was, so people liked it and went and saw it in the theater, but this didn't take hold until the mid to late 80s when HBO, now Max, started showing it from time to time. And then Ted Turner got a hold of it in the mid-90s, and it has become what we know of now. I believe in 1997 was the first year they started doing the 24-hour marathon, which starts at 8 o'clock on Christmas Eve and runs until
too long
the following day.
And it runs too fucking long.
So,
all right, are you ready to go? Let's get this over with. I mean, let's watch a fun film. I'm trying to go in with an open mind.
I'm glad you're so optimistic and ready and open.
I'm gonna actually watch the movie. I'm ready on the pause button. When you want to talk about something, please just let me know.
You got it.
But I'm ready.
All righty.
All right, here we go. Very exciting. And there it is. Metro Golden Mayer presents, and you're off and running, people. Listen, I don't want to talk the entire time. We may cut out some of this. I may speed it up, but like, I haven't thought about how I'm actually going to edit this later, because like, what if we are watching the movie and it's dead silent? Do I just say when we pause it for people to talk about it? I know. Did I think this through entirely? Probably not.
Probably not. So this first thing that you see that I want to point out, all this snow is fake. It's made with soap and foam.
All right. Is that a pause? I paused it because I wanted to hear the movie. Is that a pause? Just say pause if it's a pause. Tell me a fucking pause, Randy.
Go on.
Peter Billingsley is Ralph, also known as scientist in Spider-Man Far From Home. And he was in the first Iron Man.
First Iron. Elf, too. Another Christmas movie. So this is downtown Cleveland, actually. Higbee's, it was an actual department store that had a big Christmas display in Cleveland.
Okay. What years does this take place in?
It is a moving target. Very late 30s, early 40s.
Oh, that early. I was thinking, I this whole time I think it was like the 50s or 60s. 30s and 40s. That is late, or late, early time.
Because of some of the construction that was going on in downtown Cleveland, they shot this all at night. They actually shot this at 3 a.m, a lot of this.
All right. This narrator, anybody noteworthy, famous? Should I care who it is?
So you see in the credits there, it's based on the book. The guy who wrote that book, the noted humorist Gene Shepard, is the narrator.
Oh, all right. Good for him. Get that bag.
He was a radio voice for a long time, and then also wrote a bunch of humor pieces.
You can tell he was a radio voice. He's got that. It's a nice voice.
Think of Garrison Keillor with a little more snark. Kind of
okay.
That kind of.
All right.
Told a lot of stories about growing up in Indiana that were moderately fictional, but
so you're gonna be like Garrison Keillor if he was like, and he said bitch a lot, swore all the time.
You see, playing flick there, Scott Schwartz ends up being in the toy later, which you like.
There it is, the holy grail of Christmas gifts, the Red Ryder 200-shot range model air rifle.
I'm going to say it. That kid has a punchable face.
So
at 4:30 in the movie.
We just got the first introduction to a underlying theme of the movie that Ralphie wants a Red Ryder BB gun, which is made by the Daisy Rifle Company. And starting after this movie, around the holidays, they started to release a Red Ryder BB gun, and it has been one of the most popular selling guns throughout the entire holiday season.
So kind of like the swing line stapler in Office Space. There was never a red one until after the movie. The BB gun, like this, didn't exist until after this movie.
They actually had, and oddly enough,
did it exist after this movie came out in the 80s, or when it got popular later they started making?
So it existed a long time ago in the 40s. Like when this is taking place, but then they reintroduced it around the holidays specifically because of this movie in the mid to late 80s, and then it's become one of the most popular selling guns that they have since that point. The way the gun as it's constructed in the movie, they had to reformat because it didn't have a specific scope like it does in the movie that they offered at the time. So in the 1940s, you could not have gotten the Red Ryder BB gun the way that they have it in the movie, but they've since re-outfitted it and sell it from now on. That was my fault.
You're a real gun nut, Randy? You know all these stats about guns?
I just did a lot of research on this movie. So also,
fair enough.
I don't believe we've heard Peter Billingsley talk yet. He has a lot of his, internal thoughts with the narration but he only has about 90 lines in this whole movie, which is not a lot at all. But
Yeah.
you said he had a punchable face. We have to see his face a lot because there's a lot of narration.
Yeah, I don't know. There was something about a few seconds before we paused it. Again, we were currently paused at 4:30 into the movie. I don't know, just the way he had that dumb, doofy look when he was looking at, like, dreaming about the gun. Dialing back to Superman and Lois real quick, by the way. The two of the main characters are his teenage sons, and I loved them. And so this is another one where sometimes I hate a kid in a movie, and sometimes I'm fine with it. And there's something about this fucking kid. I don't know already. But it is 4:30. We are going to resume unless we have anything else on this gun. Oh, my only other thought on that is what an antiquated thing that I know this is taking place in the 30s and 40s, but only in the 80s could you have made a movie where the object of a child's desire is a gun, and that's going to be the plot of the film.
Yeah,
that shit ain't happening anymore.
There are some things that have not aged well in this movie. I will completely admit to that.
Anyway, let's get back to your murderous child movie. And here we are.
Boy, they write the silliest things in the newspapers.
What do you mean silly?
Yeah,
I mean, that's
as a woman in the 40s, how dare she know something?
What is the name of the Lone Ranger's nephew's horse?
Victor. His name is Victor.
How the hell did you know that?
Punchable face. Can I ask you a question before you get to your trivia fact?
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's because it's a different time. Why can't this fucking kid just go, Dad, can I get a Red Ryder BB gun for Christmas?
It will come into play here in a little bit.
Okay. Anyway, what do you got? We are paused currently at 7:20 into the film.
7:20. Okay, so I got he just referenced. I mean, he called him Dad, which is not that surprising, but he referenced in the narration, calling Darren McGavin's character, my old man. It is not. We do not find out Mr. Parker's name or Melinda Dillon, the mom's name. They do not have first names in this entire movie. They're just known as Mrs. Parker and Mr. Parker, or my old man, or Dad and Mom. So this being told completely from the child's point of view, I guess that makes sense. But it's just, I think it's interesting that the parents never address each other as their first names either.
Okay. All right. Well, loveless marriage in the 1930s. Shock and awe. Is this guy drunk too? Is this going to be like the dad in the movie Here? Is this Paul Bettany in Here, where he's just a drunk after the war?
No.
Or is this pre-war?
Although there are a few moments where there's questionable hours in which they're drinking wine, but on we go.
I mean, hey, who doesn't have that? I got a bottle in the fridge. Should I have cracked this for to have this?
What happened next was inevitable.
Ralphie, what would you like for Christmas?
Oh,
No. Shoot your eye out.
I've heard that before. That is famous.
Yes.
I know that.
The first of many times they will reference that in the movie. Has been in the cultural, I think, lexicon, right? That is a phrase. If someone says you'll shoot your eye out, people know exactly what you're talking about. It is from this movie.
Yeah, that is transcended. Okay. Well, let's go. I kind of want to shoot my eyes out. Let's go.
Insensate evil.
Comes the first of many daydream sequences.
I would say, I'm going to pause. When this movie will come on TBS, these are some of the memories I have of being the most annoyed at this movie and changing the channel. Like, I remember this and seeing this and being like, this is so fucking stupid. Anyway, continuing on.
Can pause it here.
I do, actually. That made me chuckle. I appreciate that joke. I appreciate we are paused at 11:57. The furnace broke. The mom is quickly trying to hide that she clearly turned the thermostat up very high, right?
Yeah.
So that got me, because that is straight out of, I think, every childhood. My mom and my dad did not argue a lot. But when it came to what temperature we were keeping the house in the winter, oh boy.
It's, yeah. And also, so Darren McGavin goes downstairs to fight the furnace, as the narration points out, but kind of just starts this run-of-the-mill bunch of gibberish that is supposed to simulate obscenity. But so Darren McGavin said, actually, that he had to be cognizant about the fact he was just saying gibberish, because if he just let himself give in. He was going to actually swear too much that would have affected the PG rating of the movie. So he had to just say, okay, just keep talking gibberish while I'm doing this component of it. He's said that in interviews, which is pretty funny.
Oh, that's cool. That's fun. That's a good way. I always like hearing that stuff, especially movie aside. He's around some pretty little kids, so it's nice to not completely ruin them immediately.
Exactly. I mean, I do think that as this goes on, and you can have your opinions one way
Billy
or the other about
Madison's
this
dad.
actual movie.
That's who he is. He's Billy
Yes.
Madison's dad.
That is
It's
his
been
other kind of big thing. He was
bothering me.
noted kind of character actor from the 50s and 60s in TV, and then in movies, and also then on stage. Melinda Dillon, who plays the mom, actually is a Tony Award nominated actress and a Oscar nominated actress for the Close Encounters of the Third Kind. So she has, I mean, there is some very good pedigree from the parents acting here, and you can really tell as you go throughout it. There are a lot of little moments, just them with the kids or them with each other, that they very much feel like parents of the time. So not everything is going right. They may not, this is very much a working class home, or maybe not quite middle class. But they do have each other. They focus on what's important. There are nice little moments with the kids and stuff like that. The acting is just excellent from the two parents. That's what I noticed as we go through.
Yeah, they're very good. And I would say too, as much as I've joked about some stuff, excellent production design so far. The period looks fantastic. The town looks genuine. It doesn't look like they're shooting on a back lot, which I know you said they're not, but like they could have, having to dress a town up to look like the 30s or 40s. It looks very good. They're doing a great job. And
I'll point this out now. This is an actual house in Cleveland that you can look it up on Zillow, Google Maps. It was purchased, I believe, in the early 2000s and renovated into a Christmas Story museum / almost Airbnb. You can stay on the third floor of this house as the Christmas Story suite, and it has been that ever since. Actually, we have it paused currently. You see a shot of Randy, and I'm blanking on the actor's name, but for a brief time period, I think for about a year, he gave tours of the house. Which is more
that makes a lot more sense in my mind, because it was right after you said Airbnb. I thought you were gonna be like, and for a year you could book it and he would be there, like he would stay in the home with you.
I mean,
did you book a Christmas Story house? You get this fucking kid for a week of your vacation.
It goes deeper than that. You can actually stay. We haven't gotten into the Bumpuses yet, the next door neighbors, but we will get there. You can actually stay. They bought that house as well and turned that in. You can stay in the Bumpus's house as well. Okay. I'm not sure if you'd want to, but hey, go for it. But they have really bought into this within Cleveland. You can go see it on this street. It's fascinating. It's been going on now for, I think it was purchased for about $150,000, and the guy that bought it put almost, I think $500,000 into renovating this place. But this is an actual location, an actual house in Cleveland, not a backlot or anything like that. A set.
Yeah, it looks very good. I am cracking jokes about it's. I can already tell it was a very well. This isn't a low budget like shit thing, right? It's you can tell. I will crack jokes because I genuinely like. The one thing, I'm making jokes, but I'm not joking. I don't like the look of that kid. Like, he bugs me. He fucking bugs me.
Does he bother you in Elf? Does he bother you in...
No, because he's a grown-ass man at that point. He's
I still think he looks a lot. Okay.
No, he's a weird-looking adult. His head aged into the way his head would age.
My father wove a tapestry of obscenity that, as far as we know, is still hanging in space over Lake Michigan.
Very good. That's solid.
It's good, Jen.
I'm actually going to pause. I'm pausing 12:19. I realize, I don't know if it's from cartoons or maybe I subconsciously picked it up from seeing this. I will fake swear like that in my life. I don't know if that's just something that transcended it or something. But when I have made those kind of noises before just for fun, like friggin'. Yeah.
that comes into play later as a different instance with a different character, actually. So
Oh, well, ooh, what a tease.
tease. That's about 60% of Randy's character in this movie is whining or crying, but
Yeah, no, it's super endearing.
My old man about sticking your tongue through metal light poles in winter. And he says it'll freeze right to the pole, just like I told you. Ah, baloney.
I know that part. That's a famous part coming up. That's
Yep.
Yeah.
Mythbusters did an episode about it. That actually will happen.
I mean, I'm not. It's water and ice. Yeah, no shit.
All right, so we're getting close to a pause point as soon as she opens the drawer.
You're a pause point.
Oh, all right.
All right,
All right,
the drawer is open.
There we go.
We're paused at 15:55. There's a
So
lot of
you
shit in this
see-
drawer.
There's a lot of stuff in here, and that's what I wanted to point out. You can see that book, which is Pat Nelson, Ace of Test Pilots. That's a comic, essentially. I know it doesn't look like a comic, but it was an illustrated, a superhero action-ish type thing. Then you see the fake rat right on top of it.
Was the book a real book published of the era?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that was a 1940s kids, illustrated serial or whatever you want to call it. You see the chopper teeth. You can see that eyeball, which is actually an eyeball part of a slinky, which I guess was I don't know if it just I don't know what you did with it.
Look that up.
There's a harmonica. I don't know if where we pause it, you can see it. There's a switchblade in this drawer. So
I mean, it's the 30s and 40s. I mean, oh, I know the eyeball slinky. If you look it up, and I'll put a picture over us for the video version, it's those fucking glasses people would put on, where like the eyes are on slinkies. You ever seen those? Yeah, that's.
Now that makes more sense. Okay, I didn't
Yeah,
see the whole thing, but yeah, you're totally right. And then you see the fake nose and glasses there, obviously the with the mustache.
Yeah.
But that's all I had noted there. And then of course these whatever weirdo bad teeth things that the kids put in their mouth, and now those are all going to go in there as well. And on we go.
Oh yeah. All right, here it comes.
Yep.
Everybody's seen this. Everybody knows this bit. I do feel the anticipation though. Like even knowing it's coming, it's so uncomfortable of that tongue going towards the pole and knowing it's gonna. It still it's getting me.
And then when he pulls away.
Oh, that is uncomfortable to see.
So pause it.
Yeah.
So you will be happy to know that Flick did not actually have to stick his tongue to the flagpole so it was frozen.
I mean, to be fair, child labor laws in the early 80s, who fucking knew? They'd be like, do it, kid.
No. So what they did is they have a hidden suction tube inside the pole, and it's cut out, and so that's what's creating the illusion that his tongue is stuck to it. So it's the suction that's what's helping out there. A little movie making magic within it. He sells it.
I will say another factor into why I may not have ever liked this movie, and it's kind of playing to now. We are about 18 minutes in, and I swear to God, 7 minutes of this movie has been kids screaming and whining. And I'm just like, what? This is grating on the ears.
It's...
By the way, the teacher called him Flick. What is his given name? Do we know?
Has anyone seen Flick?
This is not great from Schwartz and Ralphie to not look guilty.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't give a shit.
The only kids that don't leave their seat.
Randy, if I had done this, would you have helped me?
I would have tried to figure out. I probably would have been not great though. I probably pulled until it came off and hurt your tongue though. So I don't know.
If I had done this at our current ages, would you have helped me?
I would have taken a picture first, but then yes, I would have.
Okay, good.
Scut Farkus. What a rotten name.
Hang on, they're saying Scut or Scott?
It's Scut, actually. S-C-U-T. I don't know how that's a name.
I've paused at 22:30. We're going to discuss this.
Scut
what?
Farkus.
Okay. Not
So
Scott Farkus. When I
now-
actually saw your note, because you didn't put spoilers in, you wrote pause 2230 Scott Farkus. Every ounce of me assumed you typo. Every ounce of me thought it was a typo.
No, it is actually SCUT Scut Farkus. I don't know the reasoning for Scut other than maybe it sounded harsher than Scott.
All
But
right.
maybe. I do know the significance of Farkus is actually derived from the Hungarian word for wolf, and as you could hear, Scut Farkus emerges from the Peter and the Wolf music when the wolf emerges.
Oh, I didn't even click that. You're absolutely right.
Yeah,
I'm not educated. Yeah, it's good. Good work out of you. Very impressed. I'm very proud. What else has that kid been in? Because he's famous for something else, right? That actor?
No.
No?
Oddly enough, he kind of looks like he should be or is someone else, but he is no. The only other thing he's really been in is they did a second Christmas Story on HBO Max with Peter Billingsley as a grown-up.
He looks so familiar to me. It's so
does.
weird. I'm going to his IMDb right now to like prove you wrong.
I thought I double checked it, but please do if I'm incorrect.
it's
but
fine.
He looks very much like, I don't know if it's one of the actors from Harry Potter or something like that, but
yeah, maybe. Anyway. So we can continue on after. I can't continue on. I'm looking this up. We're on Zach Ward's IMDb, and we're going deep, deep back. And I'm just scrolling real fast. No. He's in Almost Famous, but I can't place him in Almost Famous.
okay.
No. Boom! That's where I know him from.
Oh, right.
He's in the show Titus that was on Fox for 3 seasons. Very underrated sitcom from the comedian Christopher Titus.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
That's him. I can't remember if he's a brother or a neighbor, but he's the co-star. He's in 54 episodes of Titus.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I missed that one.
That's where I actually know him from. He's Mark's brother in Freddy vs. Jason, who shows up in the dream sequence to torture him. And he committed suicide. Everyone thought it was suicide, but it was actually Freddy. And so they do a dream sequence where they go to his bathtub and you see him with his slit wrists in the bathtub. And he pops out and like torments his brother. That's him.
Okay.
That's fucking Zach Ward. I was like, I know this fucking guy. And I
didn't
kind
go
of
as in
remembered
depth
him.
there, so
I kind of remembered him from Titus. No, he's the fucking dead brother from Freddy vs. Jason.
gotcha. Okay.
Oh, God, I feel bad. It's like, I fucking know who this is. Okay, anyway, we are, you Philistine, not knowing 2003's Freddy vs. Jason. This man has a long career.
Yes.
So, anyway, we are zooming from our paused point at 22:30 to see the dead brother from Freddy vs. Jason torment this annoying kid. Frankly, rooting for this guy. Get him, Scut! I've always wished I could pull off one of those newsboy caps. I've tried.
Yeah.
It doesn't work for me. I don't think I have the right head shape for a newsboy cap. I wish I did. Just keep the movie playing. Tell me if I got to pause. I think I have one.
Yeah.
I'm just going to get up and look. These are winter hats. These are all just my winter hats. Damn it.
You have not missed much. They scared the kids away, and now they punch each other.
Go, Scott. Team Scott.
You stop playing with your food, or I'll give you something to cry about. You better stop fooling around with that and eat it, or you'll be sorry.
Super
I might have been
pleasant.
wrong. It might be 80% of Randy's personality is whining.
Yeah. No shit. That's very sweet.
I'm also not sure how this kid didn't suffocate on mashed potatoes from this part, but
I appreciate you got genuine emotion from me. It's nice to see happy mom and son stuff.
yeah.
That speaks to me. Oh, okay, you got me. That made me happy. You bastard.
There are a lot of nice warm performances from the parents in this, yeah.
Can I tell you, I don't feel like I'd seen one yet, and we're 28 minutes in. That's the thing. I hadn't gotten the impression that any of these people liked each other until that moment. That was really nice.
A sign of the times type thing. Like, how do you get the little moments out of what is going on if you're not living in a rich world or whatever?
Yeah.
You Parker?
Yeah.
Sign here.
Yeah. Well, what is it?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's the other very famous part. The prop that spawned a million pieces of memorabilia for people to
Yeah.
buy.
What is it?
Wait, it's a leg.
But what is it?
Do you know what this is? This is a lamp.
It was indeed a lamp.
Isn't that great?
So the guy that just talked to Mr. Parker, the old man, out in the street, is the director of this movie, Bob Clark.
Oh, okay, nice, good stuff. Good on him.
In continuing to not call any of the adults by their first name, he just calls him Swede or the Swede.
Wait, who was the Swede? The guy or the director?
The guy that's right next to. Yeah.
Okay.
They'll
All
come
right.
back to him here when we start up. Yeah.
It's a major award. A major award? Shucks, I wouldn't have known, Dad. It looks like a lamp.
You got anything else you want to talk about at the leg before we move on? It was a big deal. You had something noted about the leg in your notes, but I wasn't sure if that was just to talk about the director or not.
It was basically, the director cameo that was in there. I mean, this is probably the most lasting thing from the movie.
Yeah.
That it has lived on more, I think, from, like you said, a memorabilia standpoint. There are 100 variations of this lamp, from a bedside table version to full size from the movie. There were 3 of them that they made for the movie.
Okay.
And I mean, we're getting ahead of ourselves. They all broke.
Gasp. I actually know that. That's another famous part. I know the beats, Oh, can I tell
you? But no, but all 3 that they had broke too. So they did not have any extras left once filming was done.
Quick aside, I don't remember if I've told this story on the air or not. I don't know if I've told you this story, but this reminds me of when I was a kid. You have your little awakenings, you get the puberties going, and you start to look at some certain things. And I had went to Spencer's Gifts, and I bought a poster that was Jenny McCarthy doing like a, put her hands up in the lingerie. Jenny McCarthy. Here's the thing. I put it on the wall. We don't need to get into why, but if my bed was here, I could see it really clearly on this wall. Let's not worry about why. But it was right there. You know why. But what I didn't think about was my bedroom faced the street and the public street. And I would have my windows open. And my parents came and got talked to because there were people stopping outside our window to look into my room to look at Jenny McCarthy.
Oh, wow.
That's real, like lamp vibes. So there you go.
Kind of. I don't know. That's kind of amusing.
No, that's why I told you the story. I didn't think it was deeply dark and depressing. I thought it was funny.
It was more a commentary on the people that were stopping to look through the window at a Jenny McCarthy poster.
Yeah, and it was like kids and some other people that be like, you need to move the poster. I was like, why? They're like, we're getting like spectators. Like, fine. Listen, it was the mid-90s. It was pre-internet.
Yes.
It was a different time. There we go.
There we go.
Every time he gets that dumb fucking look on his face, I know something's coming.
I think as a kid with a very vivid imagination, maybe some of this spoke to me. I never did anything where I stood and
I mean, I
visibly looked off to the side while somebody had to shake me out of my daydream. But Peter Billingsley was the first one to audition for Ralphie, and they picked him. But Sean Astin and Will Wheaton also did. I wonder if they would be more punchable or less.
What? Just said this was 83?
Mm-hmm.
Look up what Sean Astin was doing on that old. Let me know if I got to actually pay attention a little better. I'm looking at Sean Astin's IMDb right now. No, Sean Astin's first feature film was The Goonies. Wow.
Oh, okay.
He did a couple TV roles before that, but nothing. So
this would have been 3 years before that, right?
Yeah, that's what I was getting.
Yeah,
85.
Young.
It was 2 years though,
yeah.
but like that's what I was thinking. Like, wow, that's a gap. Like, it was not struggling tiny actor Sean Astin. Will Wheaton too? He feels even younger. I'm looking at that. This is the equivalent of me sitting on the couch, looking at my phone and paying attention to the movie. I want you to know that.
You got a big tree. Yeah. Hell, this ain't no tree.
In terms of plot, this movie isn't necessary to. It is a series of vignettes.
Will Wheaton was doing more by this point. He had a feature film under his belt. He had done a couple of TV series, and he was in The Secret of Nymph, which I vaguely remember. So there you go. Going with the little rats. Huh, okay. There you go. Anyway, what's happening in this movie?
They're getting a Christmas tree. They're going to the tree lot and just arguing with the tree guy to get a good deal.
Is this what you do when you went to go get your tree? Because you mentioned
We go cut our own tree, man.
All right. There's no haggling?
No. You can't really do that anymore.
It's because you're not trying.
It's fair, but...
Will Wheaton's in The Last Starfighter? I don't remember that. I haven't watched that movie in a long time. You want to watch The Last Starfighter?
I felt like it was a lot more known at the time, but I'm not sure if everybody knows this part from the movie.
Okay, I'm in. I'm dialed in. No more Will Wheaton IMDb.
So they just a blowout. Changing a tire.
To the traffic, and then they were gone.
Oh, fudge.
Did he actually say
didn't
fudge? There it is.
I said
Feel that.
the word, the big one, the queen mother of dirty words.
No.
So you had mentioned, I just paused it at 4111.
Yeah.
That you thought this was a bigger scene, or was this a big part of your lexicon growing up?
The oh fudge became a thing oft referenced.
Okay.
Throughout friend group, family. Like we watched this movie a lot in my family too. So growing up. So I think that part of it, but I don't know if I'm talking about A Christmas Story today unless people have watched it routinely like I have.
I will know, because I keep noting I really seem drawn to the moments where it seems like the family doesn't hate each other. I was actually kind of touched a moment ago where there was the briefest of moments, which actually made me feel sad when the bowl got flipped over, where you could tell at first annoyance, but the dad and the son, like, there was a brief moment of connection just because he was helping, and neither one of them looked miserable about it. Like, because he seemed excited that the kid was there and like, all right, let's do it. Fine.
I was just saying it's a nice moment where he's like, Mom said I should help. And you can kind of hear from Darren McGavin's delivery. He's just like, oh, yeah, okay. Like that kind of nice
I don't
little...
know. It was nice. And then obviously you get shot to shit when the bulls get dropped. But
I mean,
your
9-year-old says fuck in front of you. I don't know
I
what
know.
to tell you.
Like, it's just, and I know for a fact I told this story on the air at some point, but the first time I dropped a couple of curses in front of my dad when I didn't know they were curses, he reacted very poorly. He was not a fan.
Yeah.
So it happens.
And Ralphie knew exactly what he was saying.
That's true. That's true.
Where did you hear that word?
But I chickened out, and I blurted out the first name that came to mind.
Schwartz.
Oh, I see.
Oh, Ralphie.
He's a bad friend. They keep saying he's a bad friend. He let fucking tongue kid go.
So yeah,
this shit's happening.
Now
he's a
Flick
bad
and Schwartz. Yeah, this is true.
He's a whiny, punchable, bad friend. Have we established, does he believe in Santa or Santa a non-factor? It's all the parents. He knows at this point.
He believes.
He believes in Santa. Okay,
Yes.
they established that, and I missed it.
It's one of his outlets to try to get the gun here in a little bit.
Okay.
I know you don't like these sequences. This one is the most ridiculous and probably my favorite. This is the Ralphie is now blind.
I appreciate the parents are giving it their all. Like, they're very good actors in this. They're committing to the fun, the everything. They're doing a very good job.
The music really helps on a lot of these too.
It does.
Makes it
Is
so
this
ridiculous.
and it's all like famous royalty-free tracks, right?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
recognizable.
I just like they're grieved almost in harmony.
I was
Like,
gonna say that I am being honest. When something actually makes me chuckle, or I get something out of it, the parents' reaction was very entertaining. I chuckled.
So over the top, yeah.
Yeah.
I do like how this daydream starts where like he's upset, and then you go back to him lying on the bed, and he's kind of almost grinning to
This
himself.
kid's
like,
a fucking
I'll get him.
You know, this kid's a fucking sociopath, right? Like, he
Yeah.
is. We're pausing at 47:43 because I started a deep dive about if anyone else thinks the way that I do. And I found this website, doorfliesopen.com. I have no idea who this person is, what their credentials are. If they're like a secret Nazi, I do not endorse this person. However, I laugh because in 2018, they posted an article titled Fudge Off Ralphie, the Real Christmas Story Bully. However, they establish a few ground rules. Point number 2 they make is, I'm going to avoid calling Ralphie a sociopath because I'm not a trained medical professional and thusly not in the business of diagnosing the mental disorders of fictional characters. I realize that there's a good chance you've read a brief description of what a sociopathy is, but that on its own does not make you an authority on the subject. What? Every deputy designator, blah, blah, blah. I can't tell you that Ralphie is a sociopath. I can, however, tell you that Ralphie is a fucking asshole who lies constantly unless they cannot be trusted to give an objective account of his actions. So, listen, I don't know this website. I don't know this person. But early take at doorfliesopen.com, solid.
So the fascinating point of all that is Gene Shepard, who wrote, in God We Trust, All Others Pay Cash, which is the book or the series of passages, that this is based on, and based a lot of this on some of his childhood memories, was notorious for telling these stories on the radio. This was his radio shows that he had in the 50s and 60s, would be these kind of anecdotal stories, but they were notorious for being about 40% true. And so we have a literal unreliable narrator for Ralphie, and I think that may come into play with some of that. But we are also, within the next 10 minutes of this movie, going to get more ammo for that theory.
Okay. All right. Well, then we are resuming at 47:43.
I was leaving Randy behind.
I'm about to do the same after this.
The weeks of drinking gallons of Ovaltine in order to get the Ovaltine inner seal to send off for my little orphan Annie's secret decoder pin was about to pay off.
Why would little orphan Annie have a decoder pin?
Signed, Little Orphan Annie.
So
Little orphan Annie wasn't a superhero.
She went on a bunch of adventures, though, on the radio show, though.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Now it's time for Annie's secret message for you members of the Secret Circle.
Do you know this message, Mike?
I think, isn't it just an ad for the Ovaltine? Like, be sure to buy Ovaltine or something?
Be sure to drink your Ovaltine. Ovaltine?
You deserved it. You deserved that.
Bitch.
Pause.
Paused at 5109. What do you got?
So I will say that, yes, that's another just little vignette thing, or I'm sure there was some sort of nostalgic component to it where you got something from your favorite radio show or TV show or cartoon or whatever, and you thought it was something that was very much going to be of importance to the world and saving everything, and instead you just get a stupid commercial or ad. But in elementary school, I have a vivid memory of, I think I was in 5th grade, and I think the teachers just didn't want to do anything else before Christmas break, and so they were going to sit everybody down and put on A Christmas Story. And I remember our 5th grade teacher saying, now there's a couple of words in here that aren't great, but sometimes that's just what they say. She's like, so don't want this to be a big deal. And I can remember in my 5th grade classroom, that line, that delivery from Peter Billingsley of son of a bitch was like the funniest goddamn thing we ever heard. So I think I have some sort of association with that I think that line's a lot funnier than it is, just because of the, not the first time I heard it, but that time in a group of 25 10-year-olds or 11-year-olds or whatever.
This just reminded me so deeply, and I need to find if it's real. Yes, I found it. This is my version of that. You are going to get my audio. I'll put some graphics up for the YouTube version. But 1989, Ghostbusters 2 had a mystery sweepstakes where you got a vinyl record in the album a vinyl record album in the serial that played a secret message from Egon from the Ghostbusters where you could try to enter a contest. And my parents like wouldn't let me enter the contest, and it ended my world. I was like, Mom, into the Ghostbusters. And I found it on YouTube, and I'm gonna play this shit.
Welcome to the new Ghostbusters movie mystery. In just a moment, you'll get a chance to meet Egon Spengler, the brave, courageous hero from the Ghostbusters movies. Now, kids, answer the 3 questions that Egon will ask you later on this record, and you could be eligible to win one of the 2 grand prizes in the new Ghostbusters movie mystery sweepstakes. And right now, I take great pride in introducing Egon Spengler.
Hello, Ghostbusters fans. Have you been looking out for ghosts lately?
That's not even the voice from the cartoon.
You have a chance to be an
but I was
member
convinced
of the
this was
team.
Egon when I was 5. I was
Hollywood
convinced.
for you and your family. And
this is not
Dr.
Egon at all.
Spengler. How lucky can you get? Well, it could be worse. You could be meeting Slimer. Now, here's a tip. Clues to the mystery questions are contained in the new Ghostbusters movie. If you haven't seen it yet, make plans to go right away. It's great. You've never seen ghosts like the ones in this movie. Everyone thinks the Ghostbusters are beaten, but you know better, don't you? We're back, and we're better than ever.
I like how the music is even a knockoff.
Spengler, with twice the know-how and twice the particle power. Now remember, everyone.
What's with the little laughing
he's doing? The second
Now, Egon will ask you some fun questions about the new Ghostbusters movie.
Question number 1. Name the woman who works at the art museum who's Peter Venkman's girlfriend. Number 2. On
Dana
what holiday
Barrett.
does the big bust happen at the end of the movie? And
New
question
Year's
number
Eve.
3. What U.S. monument do the Ghostbusters work from to save the city?
The Statue
Louis
of
Arch.
Liberty. You
Oh,
motherfucker.
damn it.
Is everybody ready to enter the sweepstakes? Mail a 3x5
Yes.
card with your answers, your name, age,
My
and
parents
address, including zip
would
code
not
and your telephone number.
let me
to
mail
the
in
new
the 3x5
Ghostbusters movie
card. They're like,
mystery
it's not.
sweepstakes.
No,
P.O.
no, we're not
Box
doing this for no time.
4029, Beverly Hills, California.
I was like, I need to. I could be Egon.
The more chances
I
you have
could
to
be
win.
Egon.
Only
They
one
would.
entry
It
per envelope, please.
destroyed
See
me.
details and official rules on specially marked boxes of new Ghostbusters, Cookie Crisp, and Dinosaurs brand cereals. There are
Dead.
2 versions of the
Anyway, back to the movie. That was my
So,
Little Orphan Annie decoder ring.
Dinosaurs brand cereal, is that like the show Dinosaurs? Or I wonder, I think,
No, because Dinosaurs didn't start till the 90s, right?
did
when
it?
did the show Dinosaurs start? I thought that was like 92. Dinosaurs didn't start till 91, and this was in 89.
I just, when they
So-
said Dinosaurs brand, that made me
No,
think.
you're absolutely
like,
right. That's a good shout. That's a good guess. Let me look up Dinosaurs brand cereal 1989.
Cookie Crisp.
It's a cartoon. It looks like the old like Fruit Brute cereal repackaged.
Okay.
It doesn't even look like dinosaurs. It's just like little fruit colored boomerangs. Oh my god, it's not dinosaurs. It's dinosaurs. Like DINERSAURS. And the box art is dinosaurs and like, do you remember the chefs from Old Cinnamon Toast Crunch, the bakers? Who
Yeah.
had like Wendell in that? It's dinosaurs dressed like Wendell. It's dinosaurs. Cereal.
Oh my.
Wow.
We've taken 8 left turns already, but what is the, you'll know it better than me, just hearing Cookie Crisp there too. What's the Simpsons quote from the Cookie Crisp jingle?
Oh God.
Homer does it.
Yeah, do you
I
know the
guess I'm gonna have
website?
to go get my whatever.
Do you know the website Frinkiac? It is the best. Frinkiac. Yeah, so you can go type a quote in and it'll show you an immediate meme of that scene. I'm going to
Nice.
Frinkiac and I'm just typing in Cookie Crisp. So, no, that's not it. I don't remember a cookie. It's not bringing up a Cookie Crisp quote. It's bringing
Maybe
up
it was-
lots of
I
cookies.
have it in my
quotes.
head as Homer doing it. He doesn't say Cookie Crisp. He does the. Isn't Cookie Crisp can't get enough of that Cookie Crisp or something? Or is that Golden Grams? Maybe
Golden
I'm conflating
Grams,
my.
Honey Crisp.
What is that? What?
Golden Graham. I don't fucking know. Let's get back to the movie.
Yes.
Oh, it is Golden Grams in space.
Oh, got you.
When Buzz Aldrin is like remembering like the national anthem, and like they're doing like something like like
No. I know that one.
right.
From
No, it's the same
astronaut
one. Because Homer,
Oh, okay.
then they cut to Homer. Instead of doing like the patriotic song, he's going, "Oh, those Golden Grams, oh, those Golden Grams, crunchy, crunchy graham cereal breakfast treat."
I do remember that. There's something to, and
That's not it?
can't get enough of that golden.
I don't know.
I don't know
Anyway.
what I'm thinking of. Yeah, let's get back to the movie.
Back to the
'cause
movie at 5109. There's like another 40 minutes of this shit, and I am out. Anyway.
Was a family controversy for years.
I want to remind you, this is a plastic lamp. Listen to the crash.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think it was plastic. I thought it was like a ceramic. I assumed it was a ceramic lamp in this world. Like, the new ones are plastic. The modern ones.
She references it as a plastic lamp here in a minute. So
Okay. So the famous lamp just fell on.
I don't know what happened.
Okay, that lamp, as you see it paused here at 5220, looks nothing like the lamp that came out of the box. Because you're right, in the box lamp, it was very clearly a plastic prop. That looks ceramic. Like you see the white edge on the end of the thing. That looks like a ceramic lamp and would therefore make similar noise. But it didn't look ceramic when it came out of the box earlier.
And it's
All right,
and when they're arguing, and we'll see it in a minute, she does reference it as a plastic lamp. But
Okay.
continue. I do love this minute and a half here. He's so angry.
Why?
Right.
It does look more plastic now. Now that you've cut to it, was that
Yeah.
light reflecting in the other shot where it was white? Because now
Maybe.
it looks plastic again. Like it's very clearly plastic. Whoa! Oh, it was the bulb. It was the bulb breaking. Was the glass sound? And it's excessive, but I'm
Maybe.
giving you something.
You use up all the glue on purpose.
That was one of my favorite lines. Just
Let me
you
pause it
used
for
up
you.
all the you can pause it. So he's so
I-
angry. Where's the glue? We're out of glue. And he goes, "You used up all the glue on purpose." It's like as if she had some calculated thing to say. Well, I'm gonna break the lamp, and then I'm not gonna be able to help you because there's not gonna be any glue.
Aside from his delusion of this is the only like reward I've received for all the work I've done, do we have an understanding as to why he's so obsessed with the lamp, or is that just the reason? It's like this is all I have.
I think this is a guy who, does his 9-to-5 shitty job, right? They live in a probably too small house for their family. Like, it's working class. Their furnace isn't always working. They live this, and mundane is probably the wrong word, but there's just this very normal life. And this was an opportunity for him to win something, for him to showcase something. And so he attaches so much to it. I think that's what it is.
$350 for an accurate screen size full replica of that fucking lamp at
Oh, yeah.
redriderleglamps.com where it's all memorabilia. It's like they've made a market out of this shit. There's ornaments, there's socks, there's stockings, there's the costumes.
I had a bedside table version of it, or like that, like a smaller one. So maybe I don't know,
like not
desk lamp.
desktop,
Yeah,
but
yeah. But
okay.
that's why I said bedside.
Okay.
Those kind of. I don't know how tall that would be.
I got you,
18 inches, 2 feet, something like that.
What's a head knocker? A head knocker like a door knocker?
Oh
no,
God,
like a
really?
bobblehead. It's a bobblehead.
Oh, gotcha.
A bobblehead
Bobblehead
version of the lamp.
Of the lamp?
I don't know how it works. There's no video.
Probably the lampshade is probably.
Oh
a
yeah,
bobblehead.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But I will say I had that smaller version of it, and it was at I think I had it at my apartment. And when I moved in together with my wife, she's like, "We're getting rid of that, right?"
Did you? Or is it like in the garage now?
I think we put it in storage, and then finally, I think we had like a garage sale or something, and someone was like $2, and before I even knew what was happening, my wife's like, "Yeah, go for it." It's gone.
Again.
So
haggle,
I am Darren
haggle.
McGavin, and my wife is.
That's fantastic.
Really funny.
I love that.
There is a
I do
little,
love
and
that.
as we're about to start up again here too, there is a nice little moment. So Darren McGavin is trying to glue back the lamp together, and he's trying to piece it back together, and he's focused on that, so he doesn't see Melinda Dillon, who's sitting behind him. And there's a nice little moment where she is very pleased with herself, and she's kind of very much smiling to herself. And then by the time he looks, she does a little more stoic face, but it's a really nice little moment there where she's really pleased with herself.
Do you know for these replicas if they had like the original design specs, since you said they were all broken during the movie? Like, do you know how did they recreate it accurately, or was it just it's as close as they'll get it by eyeball?
That'd be my guess. Unless there was like a mold, if it's a plastic thing.
That's what I was saying. Like, it was there existing. Did you mention what happened to the third and final leg lamp? I was looking it up.
No.
One survived production, and the mold, the person who had the mold, owned it, and it survived in their special effects shop for years in Toronto. And then one day, before the movie came back to prominence with TBS, the guy was cleaning up his effects shop and threw it all away, thinking it was irrelevant.
Wow.
So it existed until the original creator junked it a few years before it came back to prominence. What a bummer. Guy
So while
fucked
you're
up.
looking that up, Flick got beat up again. So
Oh, sorry. I was looking
yes,
up.
he's got a tough beat in this movie.
Yeah, he does.
He walks back in with a black eye. Or
Did his friend Ralphie offer to help him at all?
The bell rang, so they ran away.
Oh, Ralphie didn't help his friend again? Oh, she's dressed like the Wicked Witch to tie into all the Wicked popularity. That's why we did this. Problem solved. We're here
Yes,
for
clearly.
you. We're here for you, Wicked fans.
And of course, the teacher references "You'll shoot your eye out."
My mother must have gotten to Miss Shields.
Is that the
There'd be
first
no
time it had
other
been mentioned
explanation.
since the mom originally?
Yes.
Okay. Like, obviously, it's still prevalent. It hadn't come up.
Oh,
again.
it will come up.
Okay. As Christmas gets closer, it gets.
Yeah.
Do you know that in 2012, enough leg lamps were sold on Amazon to top Mount Everest?
Remember what you were saying about the sociopath thing?
Oh, is this? I'm dialed in. I'm looking. I'm watching. What do we
So,
got?
I will say, Scut Farkus has been giving these kids shit for weeks.
Yeah.
And he just found out he's probably not going to get his rifle.
So he's ready to cause some shit. Oh, is this why this guy slit his wrist in Freddy vs. Jason about what's about to happen? Is this
I
all
don't
in a
believe
shared
so.
universe?
Maybe.
Is this the Christmas Story Freddy shared cinematic universe?
We've unlocked Ralphie.
Oh, yeah. This is Shin Ralphie, Nega Ralphie. Evolved Pokemon form Ralphie, ready to fight.
Yep.
Listen, as someone, we've talked about this. I got pretty solid by junior high, but middle school, little elementary school, I had some bullies, and I decked one time, and it felt fucking great. I get it, Ralphie. Punching that guy was one of the best things I ever did. I don't regret that.
It does feel pretty cathartic from Ralphie, regardless of how we feel about some of his. Plus, this kid's beat up, Schwartz, beat up Flick. You know, it's not like.
No, at this point, he should stop. You're killing him. Although he swears like his dad.
So these swears actually had to be scripted because I think they were sort of worried Peter Billingsley was going to do the same thing.
Oh, that makes sense. Get him. Get him. Team Scut, actually. Team Scut. Scut or Scut?
Scut.
Team Scut.
Come on.
Oh.
We're going home. Come on.
It's really nice from Melinda Dillon there. Like,
Yeah.
just like that, you Dylan. You can just tell, like, that's.
You can tell he
That's
wasn't.
what a mom would
yeah.
do, like, just like.
She can see from him that he didn't start that, right? Like, she can tell.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, you got me. That was a very. Anything with the mom and the kid, she's very good. She's very good. I have a heart, despite it all. I can feel the emotion. It's very touching. Not a soulless monster in all regards.
The mom is really good at diffusing all this. She's just holding it all together.
Yeah. Yeah, she's been my favorite character and favorite actress. Or, like, performer, I should say. Like, the most genuine in this movie, and really has carried all the vignettes for me as an emotional through line. She's doing a very good job to get away with this.
I will say he did a couple minutes ago just say fuck in front of his father. So for him to be worried about getting caught saying some other...
I think it was, I wasn't looking at the swearing. I was looking at more as he beat the shit out of a kid. That's more concerning, right?
But in the narration, he's like, he'll hear what I said, those awful things that I said.
Okay.
So I think he was more concerned about that than...
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. I will say, I'd like, funny enough, tying into Superman and Lois again, it's really nice. I feel like so many movies instantly just make all brothers like antagonists toward each other. And, like, it's a real annoying trope. I do appreciate seeing a brother, like, they're good, right? They work, it's nice.
Yep.
They can bicker because they're brothers still. It's not like they're best friends forever, but it's nice seeing the support.
And so the mom just covered for him. She said he got into a fight, but yeah. So
it's nice. That's nice. Oh, again, she's the best part of this so far. Oh, this is the other really famous part with the fucking kick, right? I know this part. Yeah. This is in all the commercials. I know all this. Yeah. Weird question, because I was going to look it up, but I could just ask you. I'm going to pause it real quick.
Yep.
We are pausing at 105.05. Pause at 105.05. So I don't know if you were going to talk about this after or later. I know that there had been some weird knockoff direct-to-TV version sequels, but without Peter Billingsley. They eventually, in 2022, it looks like, did a proper sequel with Peter Billingsley.
Correct.
I looked up the mom. She didn't pass until 2023. Was she in it? Do you know? Have you seen it?
She gave her blessing to the story, but didn't want to be in it. I don't know if, because I think she didn't die long in 2023. She ended up dying, but I don't know if she was having complications at the time also. So, no, they did. Who's the woman from Airplane? Haggerty, is that her name?
Oh, Julie Haggerty. Yeah.
Julie Haggerty. Yeah. She ended up playing the mom in the.
I could see that, but it's probably not as. She's not as good an actress, but yeah, I was just curious.
Correct. It's even by as much a Christmas Story enthusiast as I am. I watched the one. It's fine. But it's very much this is nostalgia. The other one is nostalgia for a Christmas Story. You're watching it because you like that component of it.
Probably the best of the weird cash-in sequels, I would imagine, considering the other ones were like without anybody involved.
Correct, and not necessarily related. I don't believe any are related to actual Christmas. So, whereas the 2022 one does involve Christmas as well.
No, didn't they do?
I thought a Christmas Story 2 was in a different time frame. I thought.
I don't fucking know. Is it with? Is it with?
I honestly didn't look up those ones specifically. To be honest with you,
that's what I was curious. A Christmas Story 2 is. Again, we're looking at the Christmas Story cinematic universe. This is in a multiverse situation now. The Christmas Story 2 is a different, but it is a direct sequel, but it ignores the events of the 1994 film My Summer Story.
Oh, okay. That's what I was thinking
which is
I didn't realize there was a Christmas Story 2. I guess I didn't.
But different from the Ralphie with What's His Nuts Christmas Story 2. So A Christmas Story Christmas is the one with grown-up Ralphie, Peter Billingsley. A Christmas Story 2 has Daniel Stern in it and is different. Oh, this is so weird. And then My Summer Story has, I don't think, anybody from the original. Kieran Culkin is Ralphie in My Summer Story.
So that's really interesting that Daniel Stern's
in it. Howie Mandel's the narrator? What the fuck? Anyway, you're just
because this movie was, at least the narrative structure of it, with being the amount of narration going over people's visuals, was influenced the concept of how the Wonder Years was done.
Oh, interesting. So yeah,
it's interesting that Daniel Stern's involved in that project,
I would like to note,
being the voice of the Wonder Years.
That Christmas Story sequel from 2012, A Christmas Story 2, has got the best modern Scut casting I could have imagined. He is played by the Shermanator from American Pie.
Oh, nice.
And isn't that just the second? That's the best you could
That
do.
is.
As like looks wise, skeezy wise. Yeah.
You'd have to give him red hair, but Sean William Scott would work too. But
I thought he had red hair. Did he not? That's why I thought like
the Shermanator does. The Shermanator does. I was saying no. I was saying I would also think Sean William Scott would play it interestingly if you gave him red hair. Yeah, no. The Shermanator is great. That guy.
I thought more because he already looks like him in my mind. Yeah. But yeah, that's interesting, fascinating. Anyway, back to the proper film. And we are resuming at 1:05:05 and 3.
Not to go to the department store scene. Yeah.
Does the shopping malls exist at this point in time? What is this?
Like a town square, like a downtown area.
Okay. Oh, like kind of because they had like your not a full mall, but you're like Macy's or Bloomingdale's type thing.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what Higbee's was exactly like that. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot they're at Higbee's. I forgot.
Yeah.
That's my bad.
This is also of the times you just leave your 9 and 6-year-olds
who would kidnap anyone
on their own.
Yeah.
That in the hat is Gene Shepard, the narrator of the show or the story.
No shit. Okay. The authors, right?
And
you said he narrates and he wrote.
The author of the original source material. And oddly enough, that is his real life wife, who does not have a speaking part, but just shows up to stand there.
What about the kid?
I don't know about the kid. Yet? I didn't find anything specifically. No, it is unrelated. But this is the one instance. So we have Bob Clark, the director, show up, and we have Gene Shepard, the narrator and the writer.
That's very neat. All right, good for them.
Mm-hmm. This was also not a set piece built for the movie. They actually had this Santa slide in Higbee's for the time Higbee's was open. That's a recurring theme here. Most of these kids seem terrified of this slide.
Yeah.
Santa can't wait all night. Let's go.
Lots of screaming in this.
Screaming. This movie is unpleasant to listen to. You have a pretty dulcet tone narrator. And then just...
I like this shot.
It is dramatic. Suddenly go POV out of nowhere. Has there been a POV scene in the entire rest of the movie?
No.
Listen, little boy, we've got a lot of people waiting here, so get going.
Say it. You've been so selfish this entire fucking movie. You won't shut up about this fucking gun. Fucking get it.
What it was I wanted. I was blowing it.
Jeez, you're blowing your shot. You suck. You've been the selfish most...
Wait. Hang on.
Oh, I know this part. This is the kid.
No, I want an officer red undercover knife to 200 jet range my laser rifle.
You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
Oh, goodness, look at the time. I hope Santa hasn't had to pass up this house just because some boys weren't in bed when he came by.
Yeah, I thought I heard Santa's sleigh bells a little while ago going up the other side of the street.
All right, you two, upstairs. Come on.
I appreciate it. They're having fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
The year I found out Santa wasn't real, my parents and I sat down and we had this interesting conversation where they were like, they realized, and it was weird for them because they're like, they were so used to the hiding, right? The waiting, the moment. And they looked and they were like, they looked at me and they're like, we don't understand this, but like, can we just put the presents out now? And because we'd wrapped them already. And I was like, and I looked and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go in my room and call it a night because like, even at that age, I was like, I want that sensation of coming out and seeing everything.
Yeah.
I didn't want to see it, even though I knew. And so I just called it a night. They did what they did. And the next morning, it still felt exciting.
There you go.
How old were you when you found out Santa wasn't real? Do you remember?
Whatever 4th grade is.
Yeah. That sounds about right for the same. That sounds about right for the same.
I was being a chatty little jerk while we were out at like shopping or something like that. And I kept asking my mom, I was like, yeah, but I don't understand it because like my friend said this, and then there was something about this note that Santa left, and then we finally got back in the car, and my mom's like, you really want to know? It's me.
That's so blunt. That's so
Well, she had
blunt.
enough of me spending like 20 minutes trying to plead my case or whatever,
so
and like ask her it.
blunt.
You're just like, I'm done. It was
Mine
funny.
was my mom scrapbooked everything. And do I need to wait? Is a big moment coming up? Am I gonna
No. This
Okay.
is just they're opening gifts and stuff like that.
Okay.
I'll hit you pause if we need
Okay.
to.
So my mom scrapbooked everything, and I found the first tooth I'd ever lost in the scrapbook. And I went, wait a minute, why do you have this and not the tooth fairy? And that started this snowball effect. And I'll always remember like sitting in her room, like near tears. And I was like, the tooth fairy's not real. And I was like, I started like all the dominoes were falling. I was like, what about the Easter Bunny? And I remember that I genuinely remember, I'm not embellishing, this like dramatic pause. And I was like, Santa Claus? And she like, no. And I was like, no.
I was trying to figure that out. Like Christmas wine. I mean, sometimes there's like dessert-ish wine stuff. Like you may.
That's a red wine though. Like that feels hearty for because like a dessert wine is usually a white wine, right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
I
It's
think it was
also
like a
Christmas
Riesling
morning.
or something. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm worried about them now. Although you had mentioned earlier there was drinking stuff, they really haven't been. You can tell
No.
it's a special occasion.
This was the only other time that.
Yeah, no, they're fine. I was genuinely worried he was going to be like a 40s drunk. And
Oh
he's
no,
fine.
no,
Yeah,
no.
he's doing great.
Hey, that's funny. What's that over there behind the desk?
Where?
Oh, behind the desk, against the wall over there. You should go check it out.
Good music for this.
Yes. Oh.
What have we put over there, honey?
Oh, he didn't tell the mom. That's lovely.
The fun part about this that someone pointed out to me, the only person he didn't ask for is the one who got it for him, which is really cool. It's a fun.
Oh, that is actually very sweet.
Yeah.
Because that means after all that, his dad really did listen.
Yeah.
Oh, and the joy in it. Okay, you got me. That's very sweet.
It's a really nice
It's
moment.
very sweet. I, again, can feel
And the hard ass
feelings.
dad, is just like he gets joy out of this. Like it just.
Yeah, and he's laughing and loving it. And it really is the type of thing, especially in this era, a dad would give his son, right? It's very nice.
Well, anyway, he'll reference it here in a second. So
He's gonna shoot his eye out.
it takes a dark turn. No, it doesn't.
He's gonna shoot Scut.
Back for more.
Can I try it out, Ma? Can I?
Okay.
I hope he doesn't actually shoot his eye out. I don't remember if he does or not, but I know he's gonna. I can't entirely remember, but I'd like him to get away with it.
So here you go.
I had one when I was 8 years old.
It's gonna ricochet back. I can tell already. It's gonna ricochet back. He put it up against a metal thing. Yep. Oh, he's fine. The glasses protected him, right? He's okay.
I think it's just the recoil.
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, it was a recoil from the gun. It wasn't even the. I don't think the BB hit anything.
Yeah.
Mike, when did you start wearing glasses?
7th grade.
Okay.
I probably should have been 6th, but it went a little longer
So,
than I should have.
I will say, what's about to happen? As someone who started having them in 4th grade. Oh, this hurts.
no.
Like.
I'm primarily a contacts. Are you wearing contacts or you get LASIK?
Contacts, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been wearing contacts since I was like 15.
Yeah, I what did I do?
But
I was after
remember
high school.
4th or 5th grade,
Yeah.
having to come home because out on the playground my glasses broke and having to explain that to my parents.
I have my contacts in, so I'm going to be blind. But if anyone wants to see, these are my backup glasses. They're very Buddy Holly that I just wear at home. Hello. These were cheap.
Ralphie has come up with a cover story here.
All right.
What happened? What happened?
Oh, he's doing fine. He's going to get away with it. The movie's almost over. Oh, finally, making a guest appearance is mine. My cat walked in. Randy's has been in his shot almost the whole time.
She finally
My
calmed
guy.
down.
My guy.
He wanted to see how it ended. So
Yeah, he'd been listening.
When our joy is at its zenith, when all is most right with the world, the most unthinkable disasters descend upon us.
music for the bumpus hounds.
Oh, the turkeys. I mean, to be fair, it really takes the shine off those glasses, doesn't it? People are a little less concerned. If he'd waited 10 minutes, he could have been like, the dogs broke my glasses.
We are going out to eat.
So this doesn't age well at all, but...
Oh, I've heard about the bit of casual racism from the 1940s and 80s right at the end, yeah. The 80s loved their Asian racism, didn't they? This is still on. I thought the movie would end at Christmas morning.
It's very close to being done.
Do I want Chinese for lunch?
So they deliberately gave the mom a different script for this, so because they didn't tell it. They didn't tell her the duck was still gonna have the head on it.
Oh,
they wanted her to react like organically, and so you can kind of tell she's almost like apologetic that she thinks she ruined the scene. Like it's funny to knowing that than to look at it.
That is nice. It's fun. Oh, look. Is that the first out loud laugh I've had the whole movie? Is that the first audible laugh I've had?
Yeah, it's a nice little...
You got me. Way to go.
End on a high note.
Reagan's America right here. That's the movie being made.
Gradually, I drifted off to sleep. Clanging ducks on the wing, getting off spectacular.
Ralphie grew up to be MAGA, falling asleep, cradling his gun. He's in the age range. Don't take that gun from his cold, dead hands.
Not really. He would be.
Oh, wait.
By the time MAGA came around, Ralphie would be like...
How old?
I mean, if he's 9 in 1940, I mean...
Oh, yeah. I forgot. I was thinking of it in the 80s. I was thinking of it as because it was made in the 80s. Yeah, Ralphie was dead. Ralphie was long dead. Good. All right. Well, the movie's over.
The movie has concluded.
Let's leave the showroom.
Say, upon rewatch, Mike, what do you think?
I would not watch it again. It's still not a holiday classic to me.
Really? Okay.
They're
more favorable than you remembered, though?
Honestly, on par. I didn't like a lot of it. I was never angry, vitriolic. I may have said some things for jokes here or whatever.
Yeah.
It was always just disinterest, get bored, check out. And you can probably tell by the way some of this went. I got bored and checked out a couple of times.
Yeah.
And I did appreciate some of the performances more. I appreciated some of the design and the music. Like as a movie, I appreciated what went into it maybe more than I did before. But as a viewing experience, I don't need to watch this again. I'm okay.
Understood.
I was glad I gave it another shot because I do like the idea of revisiting things like this simply because to always say you didn't like it and call that a day, I don't think that's good for any media. It is worth giving things another shot. People age, people change, people grow. You could love something one day, not like it's the next, and vice versa. I definitely think it is worth something like this revisiting. But as it stands, I'm still not a fan. I can't help it.
And I think it is very much, if you really like it, you really like it. You know, it's just that we've had a multitude of things that we've talked about. Usually like the running joke of you bringing up stuff about Star Trek and I sit there and roll my eyes and check out. I mean, it just, there are certain things, and maybe I can take that from this experience and say, maybe there are certain things I should give a try just to take a look and see. But
can we do a Star Trek watch along episode? And it wouldn't be a full movie. I won't make you watch a movie. I'll pick like one episode I really liked that I think you might enjoy.
I think since you indulged me, I think maybe we could do that. So
okay, I will think of one that I think you would both enjoy, and maybe it would be relevant to talk about for other reasons for us. I'll think on it. Yeah,
and and think of one that requires me not knowing a whole bunch of backstory, right?
Of course.
Yeah. So
this is the season 4 finale with anyway. Sorry, you were saying.
No, I think I did. As I was doing all my notes and my research, I did rewatch it yesterday, and as I was watching it more as the point of this is to this point, this is to this point, not. It is very much become. I watch it around Christmas Eve or Christmas Day just because it's kind of part of the whole tradition for me. Like we turn it on, we have it on, but we have it on when we're opening gifts, or we have it on when we're getting ready for dinner or something like that. So it is very much go in and out, but watching it start to finish yesterday and then start to finish here again, it is very much just a series of vignettes, a sequence of events that is tied together by Christmas itself. But it is a bunch of little kind of short stories that are all melded together. But I do give the movie credit for having it do a good job of the things to make it into a movie. It does not feel like a, I don't know, variety show where it's just you're kind of, it doesn't feel like Saturday Night Live or something like that, where it's just like this sketch, then this sketch, then this sketch, then this sketch.
Would this have reached the status it currently has without the 24-hour playback? Would it be held in any kind of regard like that?
I think it would be much more cultish.
Yeah.
I still think it would have that because when I talked about how I saw it in 5th grade, it wasn't 1997 when I was in 5th grade, so that hadn't started yet. And I still knew about it a lot. I think if you watched it, you just happen to be of a certain age or your family watched it a lot. I think that's really kind of what happened. And then it took on that life of its own. I don't know if there would have been as much the cult classic or beyond that, or the expanded thing. Like I said, the house in Cleveland was taken over and made into this museum and all that stuff. I don't know if that happens without this 24 hours.
Of course.
But I still think it has Christmas mindset. The one thing I was thinking about is that before this may have been one of the first, beyond It's a Wonderful Life or Miracle on 34th Street, you go back that. I mean, in the 70s, we really had a time frame where there wasn't a lot other than, I think, the Christmas carols that we talked about, those adaptations. There weren't a lot of movies that were released that were about Christmas or had Christmas related to them. And so this kind of instituted that to come back in. And then all of a sudden, in 85, we have Santa Claus, the movie, we have Scrooge, we have Christmas Vacation, and it really starts to kickstart this. That, well, people, I think, understood that it could be a bankable thing. And it's easier to have you don't have to build as much of a plot at times because you have a centralized holiday and traditions that are already built in that you can play off those, and you don't necessarily have to have a running thread of a major plot. And so I think that was sort of discovered here and then really continued on in the next 20 plus years of now we get, multiple Christmas movies every year.
That makes sense. No, that's very well said. I don't really have much else to say. I read my thoughts on the movie. I think you summed up holiday cinema very well, and how it evolved from this point and what it became. And, normally we end on the splash page and I might hit the theme one more time. But I think just because it's so insane, you give me a little goodbye. But then let's just sit together and watch Your Christmas Present one more time before we get out of here. And people, if you want, real quick, the plugs. What am I thinking?
Yes, please.
We have now got a Wait Are These Guys Friends TikTok. The Instagram is active. Look up Wait Are These Guys Friends everywhere. And, if you're in the archives, you'll still get the old email. But you can now email us at waiteartheseguysfriends@gmail.com. If you have anything you want to talk about, give us a like, give us a subscribe, leave us comments. Anything helps. We love talking with people. We love interacting. And as I've always said, anything you do gets us to more people. That's how the internet works. So, but with that, we're going to still stare at you and maybe watch this little GIF. But Randy, get us off with what you always do, and then we'll call it a day.
Yes, this is it's a really great time of year. With all the fun and traditions that are happening around the holiday season. So happy holidays to everybody's listening, depending on when you're listening to it, but happy holidays regardless. So, and for the time being, goodbye everybody, but hold on, one more thing.
Yeah, you can leave now if you want to. We understand, but whatever works. However, why would you?
For Christmas, two friends who host a podcast together and argue regularly about their
It's a good callback. I had kind of forgotten about this.
Yeah, I mean, I love it too much. Also, I put too much work into this music video to only play it one time.
All I want for Christmas is wait Are these guys
And this time I'm
friends?
gonna sing. And you, and you, and yeah, baby, yeah, and yeah, baby. Yeah. Randy, it's been a great holiday season, my friend.
It has.
I look forward to another year. You realize we started the last week of December. We're coming up on our 1 year. Next week will be our anniversary episode, baby. And really, I can't wait for everybody to hear that next week. A lot of really funny moments I hope you all remember, and maybe a few you forgot. It'll be a really good time. And clearly the song's over. There wouldn't be any more. What a tasteful piano outro. We'll get out of here. Randy already said goodbye.
Breakdown.
And we really, what are you talking? We stepped on the quiet baby both times. First you, then me. And I, oh God. Oh, man. Randy, give me one. No, baby.
Where is it? Oh, baby. I was waiting.
And you. There it is. Oh, yeah.
Baby.
I didn't know the pacing enough.
No, it's okay. I only listened to this 30,000 times editing the video. I know that song as well as I know any popular song ever made. Happy holidays, everybody. Bye.